Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage,
Pull up a comfy chair,
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 164 of A Double and Dice, and today we continue on part 2 of our Breakout Con convention adventure. And if you haven't listened to part please go listen to that first and then come listen to part 2.
I mean, you don't have to listen to them in order.
It sets up in part 1.
Sort of. I mean, we could set it up again. We went to Breakout Con. Yay! Kim booked her hotel last minute. Yay!
There's fire alarms.
Yay!
There's Eric Lang.
There was what?
Eric Lang.
Oh, Eric Lang. Yeah, we're not retelling the Eric Lang story. You got to go back to part for that one.
Yeah. Those are your highlights.
I'm impressed that you used the French, Kim.
Oh. Even though Noah doesn't do French anymore.
No,
we dropped him out of it.
So we're going to do part 2 of Breakout Con, and what we're going to talk about on this episode is our role-playing games.
Yes.
Because the last episode was board games.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about the RPGs. So Kim, you played 2 RPGs?
Correct.
I played 3.5.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So, where do we want to start?
Why don't you start with what you played Friday night?
All right.
Let's go in order.
We'll go chronologically?
Yeah.
Okay. If we're going to go chronologically, then I have to change the order of this in our sheet because I'll
Why
get
would
confused.
Do you not know which order you went in?
It goes here. Hang on. Okay. So Friday night we arrived at the hotel. I am totally doing this wrong because I can't freaking do anything today. So we arrived at the hotel and we booked in for a Shadow Dark game. So I think I talked about Shadow Dark last year. Shadow Dark is an interesting RPG because time is kind of counted in real time. So if you've ever played a role-playing game, then you know that you and your party can sit there and have a conversation for 25 minutes about whether or not to open a door. Did you check it for traps? Should we check it for traps? Blah, 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 blah. All that sort of stuff, right? In Shadow Dark, no one has night vision, no matter what type of character you are. And when you light a torch or a lantern, it lasts for 1 hour in real time. So typically the judges actually set like a timer to let you know what's happening. And as you get closer to the end of your hour, I think a lantern might be 2 hours, but a torch is an hour. And when that goes out, then you can't see. You have no vision. There's no night vision. No one can see anything. It's like you're completely in the dark. So imagine you're in the darkest place of the world and you have no light. That's what it's like in Shadow Dark. And then bad things can happen if you can't see. So it's really fun because it really kind of helps you stay on track as a player, and you're focused on making decisions quickly to move the story forward. So we played Shadow Dark on the Friday night, and what was hilarious about it was the same game master that played with us the previous year when we played a game with him. I don't think it was Shadow Dark we played with him. It might have been DCC, but I can't remember specifically. But anyway, so we were at Breakout Con the previous year. Same guy was running the game. And then the other 3 people that rocked up to our table, we had also played with the previous year. They didn't remember us, but we remembered them. We like these guys. They were a lot of fun, and they will feature in the story again. So anyway, I didn't recognize the game master. Rob did. I didn't recognize him until we got into the game, because every time we did something creative, he said, "Fuck yeah." And he just let us go with it. And it was hilarious. He had so much energy, and he had this really cool timer that looked like a pizza. So when he turned the timer all the way to the 60 minutes, it looked like a full pizza. And then by the end of it, the pizza was gone, like the timer was eating the pizza.
Okay.
Anyway, so we played this game. I can't remember the name of it. It was like something about a manor. So essentially, the goal was the premise was one of us, which turned out to be Rob, had won a manor, like a structure, like a castle, basically, in like a card game. So we were coming to claim the manor. And of course, the manor was like haunted, and we got there and we found out that people were still living there, and some of them were alive and some of them were dead, and we had to get rid of all the inhabitants before we could take possession of the manor. So we were going through crazy rooms, and we were running away from skeletons that were chasing us, and we ended up taking like literally a transporter to a lab and mixing up potions and stuff. And then we ended the game by there's like a room of like chance, like a gambling den. So the end of the game, we ended up doing some gambling in that. We all survived. It was basically a miracle. It was super fun. And playing Shadow Dark with this game master is really focused on yes and, right? So if you've ever done improv, it's like yes and. Like, fuck yeah, do that. Yeah, do it again. Do that thing, do something creative, whatever. He loved it. It was very fun and creative. And the other three guys we were playing with knew each other. They were part of the same group that plays together normally. And they hadn't played Shadow Dark before, which is why I think we played DCC last year. But anyway, they've played lots of role-playing games in their time. And we were all really creative. We were being smart about it. We were remembering to close doors. All I wanted to do, Kim, was ask which side the hinges were on.
Oh, boy.
And if there were any Von Duprins, because that's something that we've been doing in our regular game with Rob, is we were in this dungeon and we got on this trick of like we wanted to like block doors with chairs and stuff, and Rob's like, oh, the hinges are on the other side so they can just open the door. So now we ask every time we get to a door what side the hinges are on. So anyway, I did not do that because they would not have gotten the joke. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time with these guys. We played from, I think we played from 7 to 10. And it was a really fun time. We had a great event. And I really like Shadow Dark. So it's kind of like Dungeon Crawl Classics, but no one has night vision. And you have to keep an eye on your time. So you really have to move fast. So anyway, I had a really great time playing that Shadow Dark.
You don't remember the name?
No, I'd have to look it up. I can look it up while you're talking about yours.
Okay. But didn't you do something Saturday morning?
Saturday morning? No, it was Saturday morning was Blood on the Clock Tower.
Oh, okay. So Saturday morning after my board game, I got in on the new Marvel multiverse role-playing game. Mm-hmm. I think you guys tried to get on it, but it booked up pretty quick.
Yeah, it was full.
Yeah. I think they only had there's 5 of us in the group playing. And similar to any role-playing game, this one's obviously based on Marvel. Mm-hmm. So the scenario or mission, whatever you want to call it, we played was Thunderbolts Assemble. So the Marvel multiverse uses a system called D616.
Yes.
So you only play with 3 D6s. One of them is a different color, and that's like your ultimate die. I don't know if they call it ultimate, but it's like your ultimate die. So if you hit a 6, then you pull off like your ultimate ability or whatever. And it's pretty much added. So you add your numbers. So you roll your dice if you're fighting or whatnot, and you add those numbers together. And each of your characters, whom I wish was Laura Kinney, who is female Wolverine.
X-23.
So every like character has their stat stuff, which I can't remember the name of it in Marvel, what they call it. There's a lot actually on a character sheet. Then they have like this like bonus, I guess, based on what you roll and what you're using. You can times a certain of your red die, and it gives you like extra like damage or whatnot. They have a whole bunch of abilities. I think she had like, I swear 8. I've never used all 8 of those. I think I kept using one particular with her claws, like
Mm-hmm.
her things in her hand, which was doing a lot of good damage. So yeah, so it just uses those 3 dice, so any 3d6s, and they have fancy dice that you can get. I didn't bring 3, so I had used fancy dice.
Mm.
Yeah, and so you just go like any role-playing game, you go through the story, your movements and all that stuff the same, you're beating up bad guys, whatnot. I enjoyed it, but I'm not a
But
Marvel fan.
we
so
know
it
this.
wasn't exciting for me. And it's like, I think I prefer the fantasy kind of types of role-playing game.
Right.
Not like superhero, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly you can create your own characters, and the guy that went around asked him like, well, I'm a big DC fan, and then he said there's a lot of people who created like DC characters.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like the mood, I guess, you know what I mean, like the mission mood, and it's just like, man, it's not. And maybe because I'm not a big Marvel fan, that it didn't really jive with me. Now don't get me wrong, I love X-Men.
Yes.
But I'm not like Marvel character people. Like I'm more of an X-Men than I am Marvel. Maybe that's why I picked Wolverine girlfriend.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like any other type. It's just a little different system. Lots of information on your character, like so much information that you have to kind of like remember and all these things. But not enjoyable, but not my forte. As I said, I'll stick to the fantasy.
Cool. So you enjoyed it, but it wasn't your favorite.
No.
Gotcha. Okay. So then Saturday afternoon, I mentioned this in the previous episode, we had a gap in time. So some of the people we were playing with on Friday night, whose names I was just trying to find. So the guy that ran the game that was super fun, his name was Trav. And one of the guys' name was Chris, and then there was 2 other guys, and I can't remember their names right now. I have them written down, but I'm trying to find my book that I wrote them down in. Anyway, so one of them was participating in the 24-hour or the 48-hour D&D for charity event. So essentially what it was is you could drop in at any time of the day or night, and they had judges or GMs running Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition with pre-generated characters literally constantly for 2 days, and all the money that was raised was going to the Sick Children's Hospital, which was pretty cool. So they had this like adventure where there was like skateboards involved. Okay. So you were using skateboards to make sick moves and fight monsters and whatever. And we had, I want to say, like level 8 characters. And let me tell you, like, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. D&D 5th edition is not my jam. These character sheets were so full of stuff. I had no flipping clue what I was doing. I just grabbed something that looked pretty random, and we just jumped in on a game, and we were only there for like 45 minutes. We're like, we'll just play while we have some time. And of course, it was a little bit chaotic because people were like using raffle tickets that they had purchased for the charity to add monsters and things like that. They had a pretty good setup. They had these like dry erase pog figures, like little cardboard dry erase circles that you could write stuff on to like represent your character, because obviously you walked in and you didn't have a character. It was random. Mm-hmm. And represent the monsters and stuff like that on the dry erase board they were using. No shade to the GM that we were playing with, but he wasn't super into it. I don't know if he was just tired because he'd been doing it for a long time, or he was just very reserved. But the guys that we knew were at a different table, and that table was full, so we ended up at this other table. So anyway, it was interesting, but it was hard to hear what was going on. The judge was being really quiet. Some of the people weren't really engaged. It felt like they were just kind of there because they were like friends with the judge. They were friendly and everything. We didn't have our dice or anything like that when we dropped in, so we were using the dice from the table and what have you. But and then the fire alarm started going off. So we were trying to play around the fire alarm and the announcements. Attention, attention, the fire alarm has been blah, blah, blah. The fire department has been alerted and they're on their way. Stand by for further instructions. Every like 30 seconds. So it wasn't the best experience, but the charity event portion of that was like super, super awesome that they were doing something like that. I thought it was super cool. And some of them were wearing like these little alien headbands with like little sprockets on them, and things were bouncing around and they were all having a good time. It just happened that the table we were at was a little bit more
boring.
Yes. And again, like no shade on those guys. They've been doing this for like 2 days. Like it's hard.
So I came to kind of take a look before we went into our other RPG. I did come to visit. Yeah, he looked tuned out.
He looked tuned out.
He was like talking to some other people or something like that, and he's like, "What did you do?" Didn't he ask like the question like a couple of times or something?
He did. Yeah.
Maybe he's new, or he just, because I find like you need someone who's good to do these things. You know what I mean? Like
you need someone who's engaging. You need a judge who's like really focused and engaged.
Yeah, and into it, and gets into it as well. Yeah, he was definitely not.
Yeah. But whatever, we were just using it to kill time and to support the charity. So that's what we did. And then we went and got our dice so we could get ready for our last game, Kim.
Yes, which is the one you got stuck by the elevator and you were right on time.
Please see the previous episode for more information about Jocelyn being panicked trying to get her stuff out of the elevator.
Fire alarm number 1. Yes, so this one was also a Shadow Dark, which I've never played. So this was
this was your first time. Yeah.
Yes. The Lost Citadel.
With Justin.
Yes. He was good.
He was. So what was interesting about Justin was new to Canada.
Yes,
recently arrived from the Americas. And B, like first time running games at all at a convention. He was running games all weekend.
Yeah.
And very new to Shadow Dark. Had only been playing Shadow Dark for like less than 6 months.
Something like that.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting, Kim, because the game with Justin and the game with Trav, like I can speak to the two different perspectives of that because I played both. And when Justin started describing Shadow Dark, and this is, I think, a perfect example of how role-playing games can be whatever you want them to be. Justin described Shadow Dark as a resource management RPG. It was all about how much you can carry and making sure that you don't carry too much. And you only have certain slots for items. Like, you remember him talking about that?
Yes. Yeah, we had like certain number of slots per character.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that was how he focused the game.
Yeah.
So why don't you start, Kim, and tell me about what your thoughts were.
So I was a wizard. Picked it up pretty easy because DCC, I think once you know that, I think you can pick up any RPG really pretty easy. Like, things are just named differently, but it's the same thing, right? Like your strength, your personality, or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Your equipment, your AC, or things like that. So it wasn't a hard game to pick up for me. It was quite easy. So I was a wizard, but me, my wizard wasn't chaotic enough. I tried to make him chaotic. Her, actually. It was a girl. It was a female. But I thought I enjoyed it. Again, I prefer the fantasy, right? So I enjoyed playing it, and I thought he did a good job. I mean, he whiteboarded everything that we were doing.
Yeah.
And then when we came to fights, then he kind of blew it up and kind of had like little Lego figurines, which was cute. I
really liked what he did with the drawing of the map.
Yeah, he did it.
I've never seen anybody do that before.
Really? It was well done too. Like, we understood Like he just whiteboarded everything. He made some things different color. He was well at explaining things. And then when we got into combat, we had little Lego people, and he had people for things, and we gave him some suggestions too for things. I think to use.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I enjoyed it. Very similar to DCC.
Very similar to DCC.
Yeah, and yeah.
So let's talk about the whiteboarding, because that was something that I thought was really creative, and I'd never seen that before. So he had a smaller whiteboard, and then he had a typical
8.5 by 11.
Yeah, and then he had a typical like one of those maps that had squares on it, like that was a dry erase map that he could draw on. So essentially, as we were going through the Citadel, he was drawing it very small on the little 8.5 by 11 whiteboard, so that we had an idea of what the structure was. And then when we got into a battle, he would draw the battle out on the bigger map where the squares were. And then we would plop our Lego figures in to be our icons. And then we would sort of move around and fight and whatever. And that was really creative. Like when we were playing with Trav on Friday night, he just had one of those big maps with the squares.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to draw everything out on that. And obviously we ran out of space and we had to move around and it was whatever. So this was really cool. Like he's like, okay, here's your map that you're exploring and what you're undercovering and what you're finding. And then here's your battle. And then when the battle's done, he wipes that off and then just keeps going back to the map. So that was really cool. I liked that. It was very creative.
Yeah, it seems like Shadow Dark 2 in this one, we focused a lot on just getting treasure, right?
Yes.
It's just like, can we load up with our slots, or what can we drop, or can we count this as da-da-da-da-da-da? So
because he was focused on it as a resource management system. He also focused, and again, typically in a convention game, you don't usually level up. So you usually come in and they hand you a character and you play throughout the game with that character. And if that character dies, then they hand you a new character and you're like the new person and you just keep going. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Justin, he was like, this is a resource management system. You level up by gaining treasure. Whenever anybody gets treasure, everybody gets an experience point, or however many experience points or whatever. When you get this many experience points, you level up. So we actually leveled the characters up twice in the 4-hour game. We did.
I remember. Yeah, okay. Twice. I remember just rolling the once. Okay, maybe we did.
Yeah, I am fairly certain we leveled up twice. So we actually partway through, he's like, okay, he's like, you've gained enough experience now. Everybody level up. You're going to roll this, you're going to roll that. And we leveled the characters up. So what was creative and interesting about that to me was it was like you learn how to level up a character in the middle of your convention game. So if you're learning a new system and you're not sure how a character is created, here's how you level them up, which is very similar to creating a character. You get some more hit points. You get some extra items, you get some spells, whatever. Anyway, so that was pretty cool.
He did show us the map at the end that he was using, and his dry board to that was very identical. He did a good job. Yeah,
he did a good job
of drawing it out.
So kudos to him for A, moving to a new country, B, deciding to run games at a convention in a new country, and trying to build friends and create relationships and all that sort of stuff. And having never, ever run any type of game before, he's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to rock up. And I've been playing this game for like 4 months and I'm going to run events at this convention. Like, good on him. That's hard to do. Like, I have run games for our small group. Like you, Rob, Dennis, Mike. I'm flipping terrified every time I do it.
Oh, I'm always like, should I try it? But I'm like, I'm so afraid that I won't create that atmosphere. You know what I mean?
But you will. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. But like when I start doing it, I'm always like, I'm a fraud. I don't know what I'm doing. And in fairness, when I played that one that we played the prison one that turned out to be the D20 shape, that was not a beginner level judge game.
Yeah.
There was way too much in that game for a beginner level to be able, like someone who's new to it. But I just ran with it. And I mean, did you guys know that I was shitting bricks doing that?
No,
you're not like
supposed to really show it. If you
like, I just came in. I'm like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that. This and that, whatever. And you just make it work. And as soon as I would get into it, like about 10 or 15 minutes into every session, I would relax. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sitting here playing with my friends and we're having a good time and it's going to be fine. And if I don't know something, they're not going to know that I don't know something because they don't have the book.
Right. That's true. We don't
Right?
know anything, right?
They have no idea. And
just
in fact, I had no idea because until we finally got to the end, we all forgot what the objective of the mission was.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go for a while.
Yeah. But it was fun, right?
Mhm.
So, and the more I did it, the less freaked out I was.
Yeah.
And the more fun that I was having when I was doing it. But whenever I think about doing a new one, I think about that anxiety that I had when I was starting it up. And I look at these people that go to a convention and they're like, I'm going to sit down at a table in a crowded room with 14 other people running games around me and all of the noise that comes with. And I'm going to take this game that I may or may not have ever played before, and I am going to run a game and teach people how to play it. Like,
yeah, and he did good.
That takes a lot of strength of character.
And we had 2 other people who played with us. It was 5 of us all together.
Mm-hmm.
The one to your right was cool. The one across from you, I don't know, he's a little odd, but
the one across from me, I think his name was Mark.
I don't remember.
One of them was named Mark, but I don't remember which one. Anyway, the one across from me, his voice was exactly the same as my uncle's voice.
And then that creeps you out.
It's not an uncle I see a lot of, but he spoke the same way. He had the same sort of intonation. Even the sound of his voice was very similar. I kept looking at him like, do I know you? Like, are you related to me in some way? Like you sound like my uncle. Like, honestly, I texted Rob in the middle of the game. I'm like, he sounds just like my uncle. And Rob didn't catch it, but when I said it and he saw the text, he's like, yeah. He's like, I totally hear it now. Anyway, so it's not a bad thing. It was just weird. It was like this weird out of body experience. So, but yeah, he was a little bit more stiff, less comfortable in the social situation is how I would describe it.
Yeah.
Whereas the person sitting next to me, as opposed to across from me, he'd played other games before and he was kind of into it. He just kind of like went with it and had a good time. Not that the other guy didn't, just, different personalities, but I thought it all went well together.
Yeah, and you hope you end up with people that are into it. Then it makes your experience so much better. And I think he said that he owned Shadow Dark but never opened it yet. Like he never looked at it yet. Yeah,
and lots of people do because the book is pretty. Like Rob had the book with him.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good game, but very different than how we played it with Trav, and that's why it's really interesting to see different people running games, the same games, and how they look at them differently. Because to Justin, this is a resource management game, and to Trav, this is a let's do creative stuff game, and let's get excited, and let's come up with crazy ideas, and let's reinforce that and do more crazy things, right? Like when we bypassed the gambling room and we ended up going through like basically like a transporter into this lab, and then we started mixing up potions and stuff. He was like, I didn't think that was going to happen. He's like, I didn't even think you were going to get that far, because basically it was 5 of us on the Friday night, and we're all experienced at playing role-playing games, and we're all at a convention. So we know that at a convention game, you can't sit there and spend 25 minutes, especially in Shadow Dark when your light's going to go out, debating whether or not to check a door for traps. You just push forward. So we just like, next room, run away from skeleton, fight spider. Like it was just on and on and on and on. It was hilarious. We had such a great time.
Yeah, it was good. And yeah, that was it for that day. That's when we finished. Well, yeah, we both done that for that day.
Yeah,
it took us late.
Yeah, so that was Saturday. And then after that, you went out with your family, and Rob and I went and got a snack, and we talked about that already. So then Sunday came, and Kim, that was the end for you.
Yep, I went home.
You went home
because of the alarm. I think we didn't even have breakfast. I think we were lucky enough to get on an earlier train. So then we got on an earlier train, got home, and ate pretty much. So
So as I mentioned in the last episode, Rob got up basically after that alarm. It was almost 6 and he was just like, I don't think I can go back to sleep. I tried to sleep till 7. I maybe slept another 20 minutes. Then we got up, we had our breakfast, and we were kind of on the fence. Like, do we want to go to the game? Do we not want to go to the game? We registered for the game. We hate it when people register for games and don't show up for games. We're here.
Don't be one of them.
Don't be one of them. Well, I am really flipping glad that we went to this game because the guy that was running it was one of the guys that played with us on Friday night and one of the guys that was part of the D&D charity event.
In your
his
game
name's
or
Chris.
just around?
No, the one.
Was he playing at the charity one?
He wasn't playing at our charity event. He wasn't in the charity event when we got there, but one of the other guys, the guy that was at the other table who was very animated and having a lot of fun, Kim, with the green headband on. Do you remember him?
I remember.
No. Anyway, he was one of the guys that I played with on Friday night, and it was his buddy Chris who was running this game on Sunday morning called Gunframe, and it was a playtest. So essentially, Gunframe is a RPG that this guy is designing himself. He's writing it, and he's going to release it later this year, hopefully. And it's really interesting because the way he has it set up is it's a draft system. So if you do it right from like the beginning, there's certain classes of character and certain types of vehicles and things like that, and you have to draft them. So if let's say I pick, I'm going to make up the names of the things because I don't remember what they were called. I pick the X-Wing, then no one else can have the X-Wing, but someone else can have the Battlestar Galactica or whatever, right? So it's like, if I was calling it, the way he was describing it reminded me a lot of a combination between Star Wars and Firefly. But it's actually based on like anime and Battletech.
Okay.
So anyway, it's really interesting. You have certain character classes, you draft your characters, you draft your vehicles. A lot of people are in mechs, which is kind of that Battletech thing where it's like you're inside of a machine walking and fighting, right? Anyway, it was really interesting. And then you and the people you're playing with come up with a name for your like faction and who you're going to fight. And there's some pre-registered ones that he's made and things like that. So he had some stuff pre-made for himself as the judge that we were going to fight up against him. And then the whole thing is set up like a TV show or a movie. So like it always opens on a battle. So it's like a cold open in a movie or a TV show where all of a sudden everyone's battling, right? Mm-hmm. So you start with a battle, and then after the battle, then you go into like whatever the next scene where it's the aftermath of the battle and what it is you're doing. So what happened with us was we were battling in space, and we got to the planet, to the thing we were trying to save, and then we went on to the spaceship or the planet we were trying to save, and then we were kind of exploring around, and we went through that kind of version of the game. I'm not explaining it very well. It was really fun. He has done a really great job designing this RPG, and I'll admit, for me, I don't have a background of anime or Battletech. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not a world that I'm super familiar with. The only anime I know is Sailor Moon. That's like okay. Anime light because it's the Canadian North American version of Sailor Moon, right? It's anime light. I understand that. Okay. I don't know anything about mechs and ships. These guys were going nuts over these like ships and the descriptions of the ships and how to figure it out and whatever. You've got like a commander who's like managing things behind the scenes, and you can help each other out. And the game is only played with D6s, and successes are 5s or 6s, but you can also spend like points out of your stats to increase it. So like it's a 4-5 or a 6 or a 3-5, 3-4-5 6, etc. So you can spend more things. And certain classes of characters, the more sort of stressed they are, the better they get. Sort of like if you would picture it like the Hulk, the angrier the Hulk gets, the stronger he is.
Okay.
Right? So certain character classes are better if they're more stressed or focused and things like that. So anyway, it was really, really neat. I decided to be a certain character that I can't remember right now, and I can't find the book. I thought I had it ready for recording, that I had my book here with my notes in it. But I was basically like, I had decided, okay, if this is supposed to be anime, and my only exposure to anime is Sailor Moon, I'm essentially going to make myself a moon goddess. So that's what I did. And I Googled different words for like moon or lunar in different languages, and I came up with a word, and then I was like, and I came up with a word that would be my name, and then I had like a secret code name that was also another word for moon. And I described myself as this, like, I was in these flowing white robes with long blonde hair that was flowing out behind me and stuff like that, right? So they really focused on kind of like the descriptions in this game, like describe to me what you're doing and then roll your dice. Anyway, they're really cool guys, Chris and his buddies, and we had a really great time. So the one guy wasn't supposed to be in this game. He had booked another game. But the game that he had booked was in the mask only room. And this is why when we were talking about masks on the last episode, Kim, they ran out of masks. They didn't have any masks left. So he went to this game, didn't realize it was mask only. It should have been listed on the thing, but maybe he just didn't realize. Didn't see it. So he went to the customer service desk to get a mask. There were no masks left. So he went back and said, hey, there's no masks, so I'm going to have to drop out of this game. And then he came over and joined his buddy Chris, who was running Gunframe. So then we started the episode, like we started our Breakout Con and ended our Breakout Con with these same three guys.
Okay.
So anyway, it was just kind of fun. They were really fun. They are really cool guys, and we've only ever seen them at Breakout, but it was nice. It was nice to have them around because they were a lot of fun. They've played a lot of different games. And it was just me and Rob is new to this game. And then the other two, like the one guy was the guy that was writing it. And then the other two guys are guys he plays with all the time. So they've all done the play testing of this game, like for various multiple versions. And there was supposed to be one other person there, but that person didn't show up. So again, didn't show up. So we were really glad that we showed up and that we weren't the people that didn't show up. Because that would have been a real bummer for that guy if like none of the people that had registered showed up for his game on Sunday morning.
Yeah, that would have been
and just
nice.
Him and his buddies that have been practicing this at home where they didn't have to stay in a hotel, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, he ran a couple versions of it on the weekend. I guess he did a couple of play tests. So we went through like one whole round. So we did like the cold open battle. We did the stuff that you do in between, like the alternate scenes and things like that. And then we didn't really have enough time to get into a second battle. So what we ended up doing, because we only had until, I think it was 9 to 12. We didn't have enough time to get into another battle and do another round. So he just took a bunch of feedback from us about what we liked about the game, what we didn't like about the game, what made sense, what didn't make sense, how to make it better, et cetera, et cetera. So it was really cool. I was really glad we did it. It was a lot of fun. So we booked this again on Sunday morning because we were having trouble finding something that was available. We wanted something that was available early so that we would be able to get out and get home in time to get ourselves turned around for work the next day. This was perfect. It was a really fun game to play. We had a really great time.
What time did Breakout Con end on Sunday? Like, what time did it end?
So the tables and like all of the vendors, mm-hmm. They all closed up by 2:00. And I think games and stuff went until like 5. But the later you got in the day, the less things were happening. And certainly there were people that didn't filter in. And I think it was a combination of like, Sunday convention exhaustion plus the fire alarms. So people getting
off on Sunday
awakened. Yeah, it was fine on Sunday. And then, from there, what we ended up doing was we went back to the room. I had requested a late checkout for the hotel for us so that we didn't have to check out and get all of our stuff back to the car first thing in the morning. So we had a late checkout. But we were able to go back to the room, pack up all of our stuff. We weren't quite hungry yet, so we just decided, let's go home, and then we'll eat when we get home. So we actually stopped on our way home at a restaurant and had some nice Italian pizza partway home, and then got home in good time so we could turn ourselves around and get groceries and do all the things that we needed to do to get the week done. But definitely going in for the weekend, I would say, was the right decision. Mm-hmm. Previous years, we've only gone in for the single day, and that was difficult. I think the only thing I didn't really love about this year was the way our schedules worked out, Kim, is that we didn't get a chance to really hang out with Noah and Dave.
Yeah, just to base on things, how they were.
Yeah, just the way
I
things
didn't even get to hang out with them.
I hang out with them all the time.
I know, right? I had a moment where I was able to go upstairs, say hi, before the next one started, kind of thing, and then it's like bye, and it's like good night, because I won't see you till the morning. So,
yeah. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so that was because like last year we had time to all go out for dinner on Saturday night, and we got to hang out with you and Dave and Noah, and we had dinner and we hung out and we had a good time. And this year it was just kind of like a quick hello when we ran into Dave the 2 times. Like we ran into you, all 3 of you, on the Friday night briefly when you were going for dinner, and then we ran into Dave and Noah in between games. We went to go to Subway.
Yeah, I think the thing is the RPGs are like 3 hours, 4 hours long, right? So if you're kind of going back to back, you don't have much time.
Yeah,
in between. So yeah, I think I had, before I met you guys for the 5 o'clock one, I had like an hour to go find something to eat all by myself and then come back to the fire alarm. But yeah, it is what it is. It depends on what they have and their schedule and what you do and stuff. So
yeah, but yeah, I would say overall Breakout Con was great, and looking forward to going back again next year. So, and that's Breakout Con.
Yeah, part 1 and 2.
Finito. And that's all we got.
Yeah,
and there's no dice bag.
That is correct.
And that is because we are recording this early.
That is also correct.
I was hoping we would record it early enough that I would have remembered some of the things, but there were certain things I didn't remember, like the names of the games, and I had to go look them up. That first Shadow Dark, by the way, was called Teagle Manor. So,
right, yep.
Yeah. And I thought that I had my book here handy with my notes on it, but I do not. So anyway, so keep an eye out where RPGs get published and see if you can find Gunframe later this year. It was a lot of fun. I know Chris would like the support, and we had a really great time playing it. Check out Shadow Dark. If you've never played Shadow Dark before, definitely a fun game to play if you're an RPG person. And if you like Marvel superheroes, then the Marvel superhero game might be cool for you.
Yeah. And I think they actually, like, on free RPG Day or RPG Day.
Yep.
Which is in June, I think. They give out a lot of these free missions.
Yes, absolutely.
The one we played
free RPG
one.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always stuff you can get. So you can go out and get things at your local game store that participates. You can check that out online for freerpgday.com. It's just like free comic book day type thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our Breakout Con episode, Kim.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
We have no dice bag. So
no dice bag. We'll probably have a dice bag.
Catch up. Yeah. On that.
In the future, we'll get caught up on the dice bag. But yeah, thanks for recording early, Kim, based on my work schedule. And thanks to all of you for listening to our Breakout Con adventures. And if we think of anything else that we didn't share, we'll share it on a future episode. So anything else, Kim?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. So let us know what you thought about all of these things we talked about today. Have you been at a hotel when a fire alarm went off? Oh, wait, that was the last episode. Have you played an RPG? Do you like D&D 5th edition? Tell us what you like about it. Have you tried Shadow Dark? Have you tried the superhero one? Have you ever play tested an RPG that somebody has written that is like a labor of love? Or would you like to? Let us know all of those things. And you can let us know that by sending us an email at tripledpodcast@dm-north.com. Or you can join our Discord, DM North TV, and join the chat in a Double and Dice podcast convo chat. You can also add us on Discord. Kim is at Super K. I am at Joss Stitch, Joce Stitch. You can find us on all the socials at DM North TV. And you can find Kim and Matt playing board games most Saturday nights at twitch.tv/DM North TV, mostly Zombicide. And you can also find the replays of that on youtube.com/DM North TV. So until next time, on a Double and Dice.